Namaste, friends. A very warm welcome to this new series which we have begun from UCM Teaching and Research Center. And it's my soul-felt joy to be sharing with you the subject Indian mythology, myth or reality. We all want to go beyond the facade. When we hear the stories, we sometimes understand its morals, but so often we are unable to decipher why sometimes a god is angry, why sometimes it's the god who turns around the earth, the climate changes on it, like a reset. We often wonder when we hear these stories, and even when we go to temples, the statues, and there are sometimes series of statues trying to explain something. When we think of a country symbolically represents a state of consciousness. In a very simple words, we can think of it like this. We sometimes think about our children, sometimes we think about our job, sometimes about our relationship, other times about our health, etc. This is one person, us. But this one being has so many angles, so many directions to think about life. And everything becomes a state of consciousness that resides inside us, just like the countries. When we look at the plus and the minus of these countries, they seem as if they are a person. Symbolically, we can say all the countries live inside us in terms of their plus and minus, in terms of the memories we have had there, this life or the other life. And when we think of country India, most of the time this word India, when anybody hears, it rings a bell very often as a cradle of spirituality and cradle of so many cultures that amalgamate together and live together. Festivals of India and temples of India, historical places, nature, and so on. We normally say that the landmass that lies between Himalayan mountains and Indian Ocean, it used to be India. So that's where the word India comes from, and the real name is actually Bharat. Bharat is a Sanskrit word which means a land which is imbibing, which embraces the light of knowledge. So when we think of India as an ancient country, it is quite natural. It will have a lot of history behind it. And as Indians, we do understand, we know from the beginning how the history goes beyond 10,000, 15,000 or beyond years. So we can somehow say that the civilization began thousands of years ago, and it must have gone through a lot of changes, a lot of transformation, evolution. Like sometimes we study Stone Age, Iron Age, Copper Age, Neolithic Age, and the Modern Age. And when we look at the mythology stories, the Puranic stories of India, and if we go beyond it, we can feel this link, how it is also a story of evolution of the culture of humanity in a place. This is why some gods we see wearing the dress made up of animal skin. We see many stories where the goddesses are roaming in the forest, they meet someone and the love connection happens, and then a lot of things happen beyond that. When we want to understand these mythological stories, we need to look at physical angle, spiritual angle. Because past, as we all understand, friends, is a time which has gone. But the lessons are to be remembered. The positive lessons are to be imbibed as our strengths. But if there were some minuses, we need to transcend them to become better. And we also realize certain points, certain things, especially the spiritual dimension, that exists in some form in these stories, stands valid even today. But we need to look at it from the modern perspective, its applicability in our modern lives. So I welcome you all to join me in this series where I will be coming up very often with new stories which are old but with the new perspective of those stories, to decode them symbolically, to retrieve the message, the real message hidden behind them, what we need to do, what we should not do, and if we do something which is not right, what happens. I'm sure you all are excited, just like me. See you in the upcoming episode, the very first episode, on a very interesting symbol and its meaning. Om. See you soon. Namaste.